Now, you're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Would you agree with me? Texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So, the Boston flight, you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Ended up with a very ugly situation with Amber. So
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was simply,
when
you would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please. 500? 500. Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings, too, right?
Isn't happy hour any time?
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger, right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Bless
you poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint?
Yeah. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again? When the allegations were rapidly circling the globe, telling people that I was a drunken, cocaine-fueled menace who beat women suddenly in my 50s. It's over. You know, you're done. So, what did it do to me? What effect did it have on me? I'll put it to you this way. No matter the outcome of this trial, the second the allegations were made against me, the accusations, the second that more and more of these things, as I said, metastasized and turned into fodder for the media. Once that happens, or once that happened, I lost then. That is to say, I lost because that is not a thing that anyone is gonna just put on your back for a short period of time. I will live with that for the rest of my life because of the allegations and because it was such a high-profile case. So I lost then, no matter the outcome of this trial. I'll carry that for the rest of my days. And it never had to be that way. It never had to happen. And I don't quite understand why it did in the way that it did.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. He'd had a conversation with Ms. Hurd.
Hearsay.
Let's move beyond the conversation that
Certainly.
Kevin Murphy had with Ms. Heard.
He said, yes, they had. Okay. It appears that Miss Heard had told
Hearsay, Your Honor.
This is apparently a statement by Ms. Heard.
not to fight
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
what she would like for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I'm not just sure it's often for the truth of the matter, sir.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning to Ms. Heard that
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor. And I object.
disturbing. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers. So I can read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth.
I think it's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is
You'd like
other
it to be, sir.
other-
Nothing simple in this case.
other than
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
this was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yeah.
Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
Go to. That was a document you signed in August of 2016. Correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
fourth.
I wanted to make clear that you signed
Made it
that in
clear.
the summer of 2016.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roddenborn. Could you say that again?
And 2
Was
years
quite
before.
possibly, sorry.
2 years before
there's a
either the
very
online or the
different-
print.
I'm sorry, I was just
No,
going
I
to
think
finish my
you
answer.
answered my question, sir. Thank you. This is hearsay, Your Honor. And objection calls for hearsay. Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is what.
That is true, Mr. Roddenborn.
Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
Dated August 15th, 2016, right?
That's what it says, yes.
And this is this is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
Go to
With Ms. Heard.
hearsay, Your Honor.
Let's move beyond the
All right, let's
conversation
move on.
that
Certainly.
Kevin Murphy had. Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one.
Morning, Mr. Depp.
Morning, Mr. Roddenborn. Where's he gone?
Trying to respect the court's time and
I
simply,
understand. When you
would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would agree.
document, October is 2 months before December. That's correct. For him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess. I'm learning.
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
That's a strange question.
You
But
can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
You testified to that. Remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
That's just nonsense.
Thank you.
You know whose voice that
Oh,
was?
I didn't hear those words,
Okay.
but
All right.
Yes, that's Cherry Judge. If you wanted me to answer that
Correct.
again.
Okay. So you poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
I read that right, didn't I?
You did read that very well.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
Thank you for the correction. Best if luck.
You're welcome.
And thanks. Did I read that right?
No. You'd like me to read that?
Yes, please. Well, I'll read it. You say.
No, I'll read it. It's fine if you'd
No.
like to hear that.
I'll go ahead and read
Oh,
it,
you
sir.
go.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again? Sure, Mr. Roddenborn. Okay, Mr. Roddenborn. Mr. Roddenborn, this was no blackout. I know you love the word. It was no blackout. Sorry.